Oh, another live stream with you guys. Welcome. You're probably watching this on the replay, actually. Usually I give people some chance to get in here. If you're impatient, skip ahead 5 minutes, but Roaring Kitty is back. That's really what I wanted to talk about. The markets are bleeding. We'll talk about that too. What else? Cosmos is hurting, right? The Atom token, the Osmo token seems to be dragging everything else down. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm Joe, Cosmos DeFi on Twitter. This is going to stream to both Twitter and YouTube. So welcome wherever you're watching from. If you're watching on Twitter, come to the YouTube chat. There's always so many people watching on Twitter. I don't know if they're really watching. It's just on while Twitter's on. But like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about this Roaring Kitty stream that got 2.5 million views on Friday. Pretty wild. We're going to look at some charts, which we normally don't do. We're going to look at why it's possible that the Bitcoin double topped. Right? Could it be the end for Bitcoin? Was that it? Was that the whole bull market? We'll look at that. And then we have a wonderful Cosmos ecosystem, not the Cosmos hub itself. Cosmos ecosystem, a low float, high FDV token case study. Ooh, little drama surrounding that, but we'll look at it. Try to be fair. We always try to be fair here. That's what the stream is all about. Like I said, my name is Joe, and I'm the host, coming to you again on this wonderful Tuesday. It's June 11th. I think it's only my third stream this whole month, maybe second stream this whole month. But we like to deep dive into the world of crypto, into AI, and all things Web3. We take a very educational approach. I'm learning, and this channel is all about how I kind of learn with the audience, and I learn by asking questions. I'm very skeptical still of Web3, even though I'm a major Bitcoin bull. Whether you're a seasoned crypto user, whether you're an absolute beginner, doesn't matter. Like I said, we're learning here. Got some issues with the chat, it looks like. But if you're in the chat, say hi. I like to test these things out. And then we'll get to our agenda. Have a little bit on the agenda today. We'll look at prices, though. Prices are really not fun, but that's okay. Just because a token gets rejected from its all-time high, it's not cause for alarm, or maybe it is. I don't know. But Bitcoin's at like 67K. That's not too bad. All right, we got Ray Raspberry in the chat, Reprehensible Ray. We got Big Boy Crypto. Got all that. Yeah, now the viewer count's catching up. Got actually a good amount of people on YouTube for the first 5 minutes of the stream. But like I said, if you're watching this on the replay, skip ahead a little bit. Just skip ahead. I'll lower the music too. We'll get into it in a couple seconds here. And I got my drink. I know it's not Friday, but I've been going to the gym. I've been eating healthy, so I figured today's a good day to pretend it's Friday. Been waking up at 5 in the morning to go to the gym, and then I go to the gym and I just talk to my friend pretty much. I play with my phone. So if you see me tweeting at like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, really, it's just me at the gym trying to avoid my actual workout. Yeah, the viewer count's going up. This is good. I mean, so the way the streamers work, no streamer would ever admit this to you, but when you live stream, most people are not paying attention. Got 2 people in the chat. It says there's 31 people here. Don't know about that. Most people are on Twitter. They're probably scrolling through their feed. They don't even realize that there's sound. Who watches live streams on Twitter? I know Elon Musk would like you to. But I'm not going to do it, and I don't think you should either. I think YouTube is a good place for streaming, unless Twitter makes some major changes. Let's look at. Let me thank the sponsors. I always like to thank the sponsors. So, I am sponsored by Kinetics Finance. They're a Kava-based perps platform that will be integrating AI. They're launching a token, the KAI token. I'll have information on that. Actually, before we go any further, I have a Telegram channel. Down in the description of this video, you go to my link tree. All my links are there. Jump into Telegram. It's an announcements only Telegram. There's no boring chat. There's no scrolling through conversation. You just go in, a couple of announcements a week, and you stay on top of some things. I share some links. I share some alpha if I ever get it. But I do have some alpha. But yeah, the Kinetics Finance, I really like that they're sponsoring me. They were the first ever channel sponsors. First ever. And other sponsors, Shade Protocol. We're going to talk about Shade. Oh boy, we're going to talk about Shade later in the stream though. I don't want to piss off the sponsors in the beginning. I'm assuming nobody from Shade's going to watch this. We'll talk about Shade at the end. But they're a sponsor, privacy preserving, anti-front running DEX on the secret network, which I actually, it's the only place I think where I supply liquidity. Is that bad? Should I be farming this? Should I be farming this? Ambito, good to have you. Monday, we got you. Got some interns here. I might be hiring an intern pretty soon. I think I should hire an intern. I keep getting applications for interns in my email, but it comes from the same guy named Max over and over again, and I keep telling him no. I can't have someone older than me being my intern. Big Bad Coogee Whale. No, I think that's not true because the Big Bad Coogee Whale, I DM'd him. I don't really know much about him, but he does respond to my DMs. And he said there's like 1 million Coogee tokens or $1 million in Coogee tokens unbonding as we speak over the next couple of days. So I don't know what you think about that. I don't know if it's true either. I can't verify it because I don't do on-chain analytics so much anymore. We got streamer not reading the chat. Yeah, that's a problem. We'll fix that. If you guys are going to have some fun in the chat, I'll just bring the chat onto the screen at a certain point, but I have to share my screen here and I'm not going to bring it on just yet. Dave is saying, why did Bitcoin top for you? No, I said it may have. I hope it didn't. I'm hella long in this market. I'm like 50% in Bitcoin and Bitcoin correlated assets like Rune, Stacks, Ordinals, whatever. I'm probably more than 50%, to be honest with you. And, but this market is strange. We're going to look at some macro stuff, and this is like not your grandma's market. This is totally different than 2021, which is what I've been saying. I don't think it's anything like 2021. And we'll look at data. It's very general data. You could agree or disagree, but I don't mind that because I'm not a chart guy. I think there's like maybe 3 or 4 macro factors that affect the crypto markets, and all the little things that happen day to day in the actual crypto market, aside from like major exploits or Bitcoin news, I don't think it affects the market at all. Like, I don't care about Coogee Whale. Keep selling. I'm actually a Coogee holder. I bought at like what, $1.50 or $1.60, $1.25, and I'll buy under $1. So, and the reason why I'll buy Coogee is because I'm bullish on apps and I know alpha about Coogee. So, and it's not alpha that I found out from the Coogee team. It's just alpha that I find from scouring the universe of crypto, all these different ecosystems, and I will be getting into base soon. So let's look at markets. Everybody's scared. Bitcoin got rejected from 70 whatever thousand. You guys know what I'll say to that. I'll say, who cares? Can't go up forever. Bitcoin's been going up basically from 25K. All right, it's basically, or 30K. It's been going up almost nonstop. So let's look at this Brett token. I know it's a meme coin. I saw it on Twitter. I don't know what chain it's on. I'm guessing Solana because it's like $1 billion or $1.5 billion market cap. Look at injective bucking the trend here. If you're an injective person, right, you're like Cosmos, but not so Cosmos, you got to love this. You got to love this because the Atom token, the Osmo token are not doing so great. I do like this Stacks little bump, but Stacks is not doing great overall. I might have to buy more in the dollars. Started buying Stacks at 67 cents, something like that. I did make a small buy higher than this, and then like another buy. I think it was like $1.90. I bought some more, but yeah, I mean, Stacks is for me. I don't even know that much about it, but I take it as like a leveraged Bitcoin bet. Notcoin is selling off, but it also went on a huge tear like 2 weeks ago. Arweave, listen, Arweave to me is a Jackal competitor. I need Jackal to beat the hell out of Arweave. Please, Lord, let Jackal token just beat up Arweave. Athena was on a tear for a while. This is a big pullback, almost 30%. But yeah, Athena was doing well. This might be a normal correction if you zoom out. Can't tell you by looking at this, but those are our tokens. And here's my tweet that got a lot of attention, and I was surprised from, I think it was from Sunday. Almost nobody. Oh, Brett is on base, Kyle's saying. Kyle's another content creator. You could follow him. Crypto Lush, you'd be proud of me right here. Look at this. Sorry, I'm reading the chat upwards, guys. Everything else matters as much as Joe reads this chat. Oh my God. Listen, guys, I can't multitask that good, so I will read the chat, but I do bring screens over my screens and I can't see everything. Here's an interesting question. Oh, Soy's here. The Neutron ambassador is what I call him. The ambassador of Neutron. Has anyone offered you money for your @ No. I only have, you're talking about on Twitter? I only have 9,000 followers, and like, I'm guessing like 50% of the recent ones are bots. Oh, we got the #1 NFT project on Cardano. Cardania is here. Cardania is on a space of mine, maybe like a month ago. Like, no, it had to be more than a month ago, because I did the space from the hospital, and I haven't been back to the hospital in like 5 weeks. So like 6 weeks ago, that was a good one. Cardania, they're crossing over into the proof of work realm, and I did not follow closely those developments, but you guys are connected to a mining operation now, which I think is interesting, and I will get around to it because I am going to load up my ADA wallets back onto my computer, which I haven't done in over a year. I'm going to do some wallet maintenance and check in on the NFTs that I do hold. Portal, you're welcome to give me hell on here. I could handle it. I could handle it, guys. I have thick skin. I get yelled at all the time on Twitter. So here's my tweet, and the only reason why I'm bringing this up, this is not like controversial or anything. I think everyone knows this. Just like, it's funny, like the most obvious crap on Twitter gets so much attention. Everyone in Cosmos knows we need Osmo and Atom to perform in order for the ecosystem to thrive. If you're not from like Cosmos native, what you have to understand is there are about 75 or 80 layer 1 tokens, countless project tokens. And most of them are only traded on DEXs, and the DEX is Osmosis. I think Osmosis, not by volume, but by like the DEX token Osmo, it's like a top 3 or top 5 DEX token. It might not be anymore, but it was the last time I checked. So Osmosis is a huge DEX. They have liquidity in all these Cosmos native assets, all these wrapped assets from Ethereum, there's Wrap Polygon, Wrapmatic, there's DOT, all these assets, bridge wrapped, all that, multiple stable coins. But the DEX token is paired with so much stuff that when the DEX token doesn't perform, all the prices, it's like having, a lead vest when you're trying to, run a marathon. So the problem with proof of stake in general is that there's an emissions schedule, and there's just inflation all the time, regardless of whether it's warranted by the market conditions. I was actually looking at Cardano's inflation, and I saw that year to date, I could be off, but it looked like it was like 50 or 100 million tokens were emitted so far this year. And that's low inflation. Like Cardano has like 4% inflation. Well, most of the Cosmos ecosystem tokens, they have double-digit inflation. Osmo, I don't know what Osmos is anymore. I think it's between 10 and 15%. Atom is like 10 to 12% inflation. But we got it on the supply side, guys. All the developers here, they're designing these tokenomics. We're okay on supply. We need demand. And that's why I put this tweet. Validators, stakers, and app developers, basically the stakeholders, should be constructing deals that drive demand for both Osmo and Atom. Meaning, I hold tokens in Kujira ecosystem. I have Shade tokens. What else do I have in Cosmos? I have some Celestia tokens. These tokens can't really perform well unless Atom and Osmo do well. Kujira, with all their apps, cool apps, awesome apps, they still are tied to the ecosystem. And I know Kujira has one centralized exchange listing, but a lot of their liquidity is paired with tokens like Atom and Osmo. And when one token goes down, they all go down. They mostly. We just saw Injective is bucking the trend. And then my next statement was voting to give those two tokens away for free with no ROI really is stupid. Listen, both Atom and Osmo kind of give away their liquidity to make pairings and all that, provide liquidity. I don't think there's a high ROI on that. You're just giving away tokens for free. Make people buy your tokens. Give people a compelling reason to buy your tokens, and then the inflation really doesn't matter. During the bull market, Osmo had triple-digit inflation, and it went from like $2 to $12 with no problem, paying out all this inflation. The entire ecosystem was pumped. It was great. Now, inflation's lower, but demand is way lower. And it's just hurting the whole ecosystem. People in Cosmos don't realize we're in a raging bull market, and we are. And Cardania, we have our own mining operation. Yes, I said it wrong. I said they're tied to a mining operation. It's their own. So we got some fun stuff today. I'm not going to go too long because this is unscripted, unexpected, impromptu kind of stream. But we're going to talk about a couple things. And what am I doing here? There we go. I'm going to keep that across the bottom of the screen. It makes people know that there's a live stream. We got like a bunch of people now, like 100 people. So if you're watching this on Twitter, come to the chat. It's fun. The chat basically tries to distract me with my ADD. And want to talk a little bit about Roaring Kitty. So I watched most of this today. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. This is hopefully no sound. If there's sound and it's bothering you, just let me know in the chat. But so Roaring Kitty was like the front man for the massive GameStop supply squeeze that happened in 2021. This is very timely, by the way. I think this is very timely. I don't think it's an accident that he comes back 4 years later or 3 years later, whatever it is. He hasn't live streamed in a while. I guess he made some good money. He was longing these quote unquote meme stocks. If you're in crypto, you probably know about this. And just kind of, they had like a think tank that was based on Reddit, and they took advantage of a kind of like these hedge funds that were shorting stocks, not tokens, during the COVID recovery, which was really bad for retail businesses. GameStop is a retail video game company. I have no idea how they're still in business, but this was a very interesting stream. Let me see if I can get this off here. Let me make sure I got the sound off here. Yeah, the sound should be off. And I don't know why it keeps doing that. Man, live streaming is so hard, but it's like so much better than taking 6 hours to edit a 20-minute video. I have to say that. But anyway, I watched this today. It was weird. The guy has like over $100 million long position in GameStop, right? And I get it. GameStop is revamping their company. I'm not a stock market person by any stretch. I buy things in my retirement account. A lot of it is ETFs. What do I have in my retirement account? Coinbase is my number one holding now because I was buying it from like $35 and it's not even that much. So he announced he was doing this live stream and 500,000 people were checked in as waiting for this to go off. Since then, like 2.5 million people have watched at least bits and pieces of this. And he talks about GameStop as a company. I only watched the first half. Why is this significant? Well, I found this pretty detailed article about the whole short squeeze thing. And this is tied to crypto markets, in my opinion, at least loosely. That's why I wanted to talk about it. And in 2021, there was this massive supply squeeze. I don't know what it was, like from like $1 to $100, let's say, the GameStop stock. But there's backdrop to this, and this is tied into the crypto bull run of 2021, 2022. So they call it an episode. The GameStop stocks trading episode that began in January 2021 has been unprecedented in some ways. Yeah, well, the market participants, they organized themselves kind of anonymously on Reddit, which is weird. Reddit's usually the place where I go where like you take a picture of something like, hey, this is broken, how do I fix it? And someone helps you from the other side of the world. But they had this finance think tank, and a lot of the communication was on Reddit, and kind of exploited some market dynamics. And when I say exploited, I don't mean that in a negative way. And again, if I get anything wrong, tell me in the chat. I'm just breezing through this because I don't want to read this article to you. But this brought out a lot of regulatory issues in finance. A lot of the trading happened on Robinhood. Robinhood's was kind of like a gamified, cheap stock trading platform that I had one of my cousins was in college. He had no job, and he was trading stocks for like pennies on Robinhood. He had no money. He's a college student, and he was heavily involved in this AMC supply squeeze and GameStop. But let me get to the stuff because this will relate a little bit to crypto markets, I think. So GameStop is about a 20-year-old company at that time and had falling share prices. They tried to line up a buyer. Nobody bought it. Positions in the stock were concentrated. Some of it was just held by activist professional investors. I guess they just take one for the team. Activist traders, I don't get that. I guess most of us in the chat are activist crypto holders if you're staking proof of stake down only tokens for no reason other than like you think you're doing something good for the network. You're not. Maybe you're getting airdrops and you don't know about it, but you're not. Don't be an activist crypto holder is what I'm saying. All right. So long story short, GameStop, it was doing bad. Retail sucked even before COVID. I worked in retail from like 2000 to like 2007. And retail even then was doing very bad. After 9/11, people stopped going to malls. And this is not a joke. Most retail stores run on such thin margins that they can't afford to be closed for like a day, never mind a week out of the year. Okay. Very few retail businesses do well, especially brick and mortar. This was even like before e-commerce became popular. Brick and mortar retail was doing terrible. Fast forward to COVID where everything's closed and the only thing you were allowed to buy were things on Amazon and Grubhub. GameStop becomes a target for, shorting, right? They're an easy target. And there was so many short positions taken out on GameStop. It was like 140% as measured by the ratio of short interest to even shares available. So that's like a whole nother thing. I don't even want to get into that. But January 13th, there was just a drastic increase in price and a return to volatility. The volume went through the roof. They were only trading 50,000 to 100,000 shares a day. It went into the millions, and it was a massive short squeeze where the shorts they get broken. Basically, they can't keep their position. They have to settle their positions by now buying the stock at the current price, right? And that just sends the price higher because it's just demand. So it did get super volatile. We'll look at the chart here. I don't know if you could see that on. Yeah, you can. So here's the short squeeze. This is on a daily. Oh, this is weekly. Sorry. I got it on weekly. Let's change it to daily. And you could see trading was halted a bunch of times. They did some shady stuff. They didn't let people long the stock that wanted to long it. And then they couldn't get out of positions. And you could see that this chart's broken because I guess by the 27th, they're not letting people trade. So what was the stock price? It was like $4. It went to 100 and change. And that's that. Well, Roaring Kitty was involved in this. He had a massive position. I don't know what he closed it for. tens of millions, I would imagine. And then fast forward to today, to present times. And there were a couple other pumps, as you can see. We're basically, this looks like a crypto chart, right? This looks like any proof of stake token that launched in 2020, right before the bull market. Let me get this on the screen. Can't do it. Let's go to monthly. You guys can see I don't use TradingView enough. Now it disappeared. But anyway, there's another bit of a pump for GameStop. The centralized exchanges, they halted trading a few times. And let's see. Can't get it on the screen. All right. Well, anyway, Roaring Kitty comes back. 2021, January 2021 was really the beginning of the bull market for crypto. And man, there are some parallels, but there are lots of differences. And I wanted to look at a couple of those differences because I feel like I've been ready for anything. I'm looked at as like a perma bear in the crypto world, but I just question everything. I question tokenomics. I question this weird horizontal scaling that proof of stake founders and developers have parlayed into perpetual, giant salaries for themselves. I don't think proof of stake really has a reason to scale in general. Yes, ETH is one thing, Solana is something else, but proof of stake is cheap. The block space is barren wasteland, and the tokens are not that desirable for long periods of time. And as we've talked about before, there are these set inflation schedules that get planned out ahead of time. Let's look at some charts. What I wanted to look at was, and this is not how I normally have the screen, so just bear with me. I want to look at crypto market cap. Let's launch this chart. This is total crypto market cap. And this is excluding Bitcoin. This is not what I want. Here's total crypto market cap. Yes, with Bitcoin and ETH. So let's look at the previous cycles here. I came into crypto around here. Okay. This pump here, because it started from such a low market cap, was like the ICO era. There were so many 100x opportunities, right? But the liquidity was so low, you couldn't get out of them a lot of the time, especially depending on what centralized exchange you used. Back then, Americans could use all these different exchanges. Liquidity was fractured really bad, but the volatility was good if you knew what you were doing. I did not know what I was doing. I did start buying Bitcoin. I don't know when, 2,000-3,000 in very small chunks. I bought the top of this. I bought Bitcoin when it was like 17,000. So I bought it like here. But after Bitcoin pumped, there really wasn't stablecoin liquidity then. Maybe someone could look it up and tell me the number. I don't remember stablecoins being on the centralized exchanges that I used. There might have been. I do not remember any discussion of stablecoins. So you had nowhere to park your profits. People would take Bitcoin gains, put it into ETH. ETH had a massive run up in this cycle. All right. So that was 2017, 2018. Litecoin also. Litecoin, ETH, Ethereum Classic. What else? There were so many tokens that Cardano went from like 2 cents to $1.25, right? So a lot of these tokens did well just by being there. A lot of them didn't have live blockchains. They were just on the centralized exchange. They were just tokens, right? Then we go through this bear market, and then boom, we have ignition here, right? This is October 2020. Things start to move. Well, this chart is not showing what I consider to be like the most important factors. And let me see if I could shrink this down and make this look even better. We had in July 2016 a Bitcoin halvening. Let's put something here. Let's put rocket ships for Bitcoin halvening. So July 2016, that should be right. Let's put it right there. So there's one Bitcoin halvening. There's one Bitcoin halvening. The other Bitcoin halvening was May 2020. So like right here. Right here. And then the other Bitcoin halvening was April 2024. So the other Bitcoin halvening is like here. So you could see there was like a delay before the supply shock hit. Not many people know about Bitcoin. Not many people know how to get it. Back then, people used paper wallets. If you've never used a paper wallet, oh my God, you should thank your lucky stars. I never understood them. I never used them. They were a thing, though. They were a weird thing, paper wallets. So, and by the way, I know you can't see what the crypto market cap is, but it's like $2 to $2.5 trillion the last couple of weeks. It's been trending. Okay. Let's see if I could. Yeah, no, there's no good way for me to do this, is there? There we go. There's that. So I get it on there. And you could see, even though Bitcoin hit all-time highs, we're still not near the overall crypto market cap because altcoins really haven't taken off. Altcoins have not done great. So I'm not that concerned with just the Bitcoin price only, looking at total crypto market cap. And there's one more thing I want to add. Or two more things, really. I want to add the Fed funds rate. This is effective Fed funds rate. And man, when I did this at work, it worked perfectly fine. Let's go. Fed funds rate. And let's do it. It's not going to let me because I did it wrong. I know you guys are like, Joe, how do you trade? I don't really sell, so I don't really consider myself a trader. I just keep buying things. Is there something I can't see? Yeah, I want to add a symbol. I want to add, oh, there we go. I want to add Fed funds rate. There we go. That's what I wanted to add. So there's the relative Fed funds rate. Fed funds rate, by the way, before this 2021, 2022, COVID spike, the interest rates were zero. Federal funds rate was zero. And there's one more thing I want to add. I want to add M2 money supply. So it's like capturing inflation here, right? Kind of. Wait, why is that saying Germany? I don't want that. I want to capture M2 money supply. It's like disposable income. Yeah, I think this is right. There we go. So here we go. I don't want to mess with this too much. So long story short, we could talk about Neutron. I know Soy is the ambassador there. If you need anything, you just call Soy. Tell you all you need to know about Neutron. So let me see if I could articulate what I want to get across here. I think the only things that matter for crypto are the interest rate, how much disposable income retail has, and the Bitcoin halvening, or let's say the hype around the Bitcoin halvening. I think that's all that matters. We had right in the middle of the last bull market, Russia invaded Ukraine. Didn't really affect Bitcoin. Bitcoin actually went up. It was like in the 30s. It went up a little bit. Didn't really do much, right? Now we have two major wars going on. I would call them major wars. We're still in a bull market. We're near the all-time highs. So these are the things that I would look at to start with, and you could layer more factors on if you want. The last market cycle, why I think it was different was because simply the interest rate. Fed funds rate makes a big difference. When the interest is low, there's just more leverage in the system. Encourages people to take more leveraged positions. While the interest rates were low, I wish I can get this a little bigger without ruining it. Nah, I think that ruins it a little bit. But this is literally a zero interest rate here. Then we have Bitcoin halvening, and then we have this massive run up in M2 money supply, which is like inflation. It's like I would call it like disposable income. It's like liquid cash that could be spent. All these things converged And we had this massive run up to almost $3 trillion crypto market cap. It was like a double spike because in the middle of the last bull market, China just canceled Bitcoin mining. They were like, we're not going to have mining. The market crashed, subsequently just went back up to reach even higher highs. So, like I said, I think the interest rate makes the biggest difference. The M2 money supply makes a huge difference because that's just people in the United States were just getting checks sent to their house. I didn't get one. Somehow I'm a teacher and I only got like $160 bailout check. I know people that got $600 twice. One of my friends has a small business. He was getting like $15,000 or $19,000 a month. I got $160, but I still spent it on NFTs. I did. So everyone's home, they're bored. Social media, obviously, if I put social media activity here, I bet you that's a huge spike. Also, Google searches for Bitcoin, Google searches for metaverse, all that crap was probably through the roof. Google searches for NFTs, probably through the roof during this time. The previous alt cycle was all about ICOs and just low liquidity environment. People are just getting 100Xs in like a day, a week, and unable to really cash out. Let's look at this market. So now we did have ETFs. I think ETFs are big. Anything hyping Bitcoin is big. Anything hyping Bitcoin is big. Bitcoin's easy for people to understand, even like boomers, because you say it's a coin. It's a network. It's a secure network with a coin. That's it. That's how you explain it. You can invest in it. You can. It's an ETF. Let me interrupt my stream for a second. I want everyone watching to know this. Just say hi in the chat if you're paying attention. If you're on Twitter, whatever, you're not paying attention. I know for a fact that for crypto YouTubers, I have the most female viewers of any crypto YouTuber, any male crypto YouTuber. I have the most female viewers. I could back it up with my data on YouTube. Wait, for my age, I have the most female viewers on YouTube, and I have the data to prove it. At Cosmos YouTubers my age, I have the most female viewers, and I'm bragging about that. It's Amanda and two of her friends, basically. So this is kicking in. See, when you go to the gym, it only takes like a half of a high noon on a Tuesday evening to light you up, but that's me. Let me finish my point. Interrupt myself like Kanye West. So what I want to say, I'm just saying this is different. You should not expect Bitcoin to 3x its previous all-time high and then altcoins to all just run up because you think they should. Interest rates different. The M2 money supply is actually going down. So that's why the title and the headline of this stream is, we may have already reached the top. You should prepare for that. I'm just saying. I catch a lot of crap because I'm skeptical and I'm a boomer by crypto terms, but there's so much discounting of risk in crypto. It's just unbelievable. I talk to people who are like 100% net worth in like an altcoin. Not even kidding. I talk to people who eat ramen noodles all day, all week, and put all their money into crypto. No, you can't do that. The goal should be to use crypto if you have an edge, because you can sometimes get some good multiples, to then extract, put it into something a little more reliable. Stocks, real estate, cash, whatever. Pay down debt, So anyway, the interest rates are super high. The interest rates are super high by recent historical standards. The M2 money supply actually has decreased. For the crypto market cap to go higher would probably be fighting an uphill battle. Okay? And he's saying Gen X. I'm saying by crypto standards, I'm a boomer. That's all. I'm definitely proudly Gen X. This is different. This is not your grandma's market. Last time, everything was working. Imagine the Fed funds rate was somewhere in the middle of where it was then and where it is now. We probably don't get this run up. We probably get like a reasonable 2x of the total crypto market, whatever that might be, right? 640 billion, maybe to 1.2 trillion. That would have blunted this massive run up here, which means the current market is pretty reasonable. I don't think you could automatically say we're guaranteed another $1 trillion market cap on top of the last one just because what? History doesn't always repeat itself. Past performance is not an indication of future returns. You know all that. Hopefully you know all that. The market's different. The United States is hurting. The United States is getting banned from platforms, right? We can't use stuff. And we're like a lot of the liquidity. Don't forget also all the leverage taken out of the system with Luna, UST, FTX, Celsius, whatever else. So all I'm saying when I'm putting out bearish tweets is be careful. I don't want everyone to get destroyed. In a bull market, sitting there with coins down 90% from the last bull market, maybe they're not going up. Maybe this is what you get. I hope not. I hope we get $4 or $5 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. ETH, I still think ETH is going to do what it's got to do. That might breathe a lot of life into the markets. A lot of people are probably holding ERC20s, NFTs on ETH. So that's my spiel on crypto market cap. Let's get into some drama here. All right. So we'll go to the Twitter. And I'm going to put a caption here so people know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is Andromeda. Andromeda is a new launch. That's the token. Okay. So it is a new launch in Cosmos, and it's kind of unique because they built an operating system that's like uses a blockchain somehow. I can't explain how it works. It launched as a super low float, high FDV, almost $2 billion market cap a couple months ago, I think in March. If you remember this launch, they launched on Shade, which is my channel sponsor. They launched on that DEX and they crashed the DEX. So a lot of people were anticipating this. I ignored it. I don't get caught into like the hype, especially if I know I'm late, because the token ran up to, like I said, like a $2 billion market cap. As soon as it launched, the FDV, but it has like less than 10% float. So I don't get involved in that. We talk about low float, high FDV tokens all the time, but I get DMs about this project. For some reason, whenever there's a problem, I get DMs and I'm supposed to go into Discord and fill out support tickets and find out what's going on. Ray in the chat saying the launch was 6 months ago. You might be right. It was like January, February, March. I'll bring it up in a second. But long story short, as I understand the problem is this. Tokens sold off 90% or more. Community's like, hey, what's going on with the token? And the team is like, we're going to investigate. Also, don't ask us about the token. If you accuse the team of anything, you're banned from the Telegram. And if you ask questions in the wrong way, in the wrong Telegram, because there's an official, unofficial one, you're banned. So I see these screenshots and I say, let me go into the Telegram because I was interested in this project. They actually reached out to me like 2 years ago to do content, but they had nothing and I didn't understand it. So I go into the Telegram, I'm asking questions, and they say, go read the white paper. I go to the website. The white paper's there's a white paper and there's a tokenomics paper. The tokenomics paper's 28 pages. I said, I'm not reading that. Nobody should ever have to read that If you expect retail to buy your token, no. 28-page tokenomics paper. Bitcoin did it in 7. If you can't do it in 6, go kick rocks. So I'm getting an attitude from the lead dev, I guess. He wouldn't answer any of my questions. I'm asking questions about the team, asking questions about allocations, who are the backers, who invested. I just want to know. These are not typical questions for one person to be asking who just pop into the Telegram. But a lot of these, in bits and pieces at least, teams release on their documents even before they launch. On the website, you see strategic partnerships, whatever, Coinbase Ventures, Binance Labs, MetaMask, whatever it is, you see it. Anyway, Andromeda, they told me right away, we don't think this project is for you. Thank you very much. Check us out another time. That's what they said to me. I was like, all right, that didn't go so well. A couple hours later, this is yesterday, you can go into the Telegram if they haven't deleted it and find all that chat in the Andromeda unofficial one where you're allowed to talk about the token. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So someone DMs me, hey, I was an early investor. Here's the information you were asking about. They sent me links to all the founding team and all that, like 8 people, Okay, thank you. I read it. Why is this not on the website where it says about team? None of the information is there. If you go to the tokenomics, the white paper or the tokenomics paper, I think it's the tokenomics paper. It's page 26. All this information about the credentials of their team. Like, all right, this is cool. This person worked in finance. This person worked in this. All their degrees, all their experience. It doesn't name them. It just has all their credentials. And I'm like, this is so weird. What kind of investigation could they be doing about the token? And I'm like, and I shouldn't even care, but I am interested in this because it's an operating system. I haven't seen one before in crypto. So I like to know about tokens that I might buy. And sometimes I just buy tokens because I know that they have a compelling story. Onboarding through the Telegram, I don't recommend based on my experience though. So they do the investigation and they launch this report. I'm not reading the report to you. It's like a tweet. It's not a report. But here's somebody who's in the Cosmos Coffee House Telegram with me where we do talk about these things as like this content creators, there's token issuers, there's NFT artists, and there's retail basically talking about like the retail perspective of all these projects. And we try to give each other alpha, right? Cosmos Coffee House. So he's an author, right? He writes up content. And he says, token launched on ShadeSwap, that's Shade Protocol. Pumped massively to billions in FDV for a mainnet with nothing on it. All right, well, that's kind of par for the course in proof of stake, right? Still haven't seen this used Cosmos-wide. Market dumps hard, overvalued assets dump harder. Okay. So he's basically saying that they blamed their token pairing with Shade, which also hasn't done well. I'll admit that. And I do get some Shade tokens every month for their sponsorship. So I haven't sold any, but they say that they call this their largest liquidity pool, which is really not true because they're listed on centralized exchanges in way larger volumes, way more liquidity. And they say that there was a panic or deliberate selling on both tokens. That's possible, with potential ARB bot trading on SEXs, centralized exchanges. I don't know how you would confirm this, but maybe. So they're going to basically, long story short, they're blaming the pairing with Shade token for the poor performance, and they're going to pull liquidity out of that pool. They're going to lessen the liquidity, which would make DEX trading a lot harder because you would get more price impact. But let's look at let's look at this from like the retail perspective here, because I don't have the information they have, and I'm not going through the block explorer, no matter how many people DM me. So don't do that. And let's look at the market cap. So, price. This is Andromeda, and I want to look at. Oh, this is so different than how I normally have it, just to fit it on the stream. Let's look at the max. So it launched in January. It double topped in March, the whole crypto market double topped, and it rode this nice wave up to $1.76, and now it's down around. So it's 90% in a couple of months. All right, what are you going to do? You launched a low float high FDV token. You have no product. You have no onboarding mechanism for retail and dummies like me to come in and get some basic information and buy the token. You just expect people to buy the token, but they blame Shade. Yes, assets are correlated on DEXs, but if you look at markets, and maybe someone can tell me better, the volume is way higher on the centralized exchanges. So these two are centralized exchanges. The rest are DEXs, and I'm curious if it should be that correlated, being that it's, I don't even see Shade on here. Shade's not even on here, so this is not complete. But they're saying Shade is their highest liquidity pool. It's higher than Helix. Somebody told me today it's only 2% of their liquidity. So I don't know if this is like scapegoating. I don't know if this is going to hurt Shade. I don't know if Shade should really just like even say anything. I'm not a big fan of these token swaps. Whenever you take a token, two unproven tokens, you mush them together, you put them in a liquidity pool, bad things happen. You need to create demand for your token. That goes for all tokens, not just Andromeda. And even after all this, their operating system platform is still kind of interesting, but the token's different. The token is not correlated. Here's the problem in crypto as I see it when you're trading on DEXs. And then we're going to end. Tokens are correlated to each other. They're not so much correlated to the issuer's platform, app, or use case of the token. That's the best way I could sum up my issue with these tokens and why I come off bearish, and why everyone, I think, should be a little more skeptical before they buy tokens. You look at that chart, it's a falling knife. Oh, maybe I could buy in here. Well, I went to the Telegram to get some more info, couldn't get it from the founding team, lead dev. Didn't like the way I was asking. I get it. I rub people the wrong way on social media. Sorry, not sorry. And yeah, now they're going to say it's because of the pairing with Shade. Maybe, but your job as an issuer of the token, I can't say this enough, is to create compelling reason for people to buy the token. You need onboarding, you need use case, you need clever tokenomics. They're bragging about someone who's an expert on tokenomics. Well, did they not see this coming as like a possibility? I don't know. But yeah, Andromeda, Shade, good riddance, I guess. Like I'm holding Shade tokens. I don't want their tokens paired with unproven brand new tokens ever. Shade's been around for a while. They have like 6 or 7 applications. Hopefully there's a flywheel that kicks off and Shade can, the Shade token can benefit from its use case within, number one, the DAO, and also number 2, all the applications they have. Andromeda is still kind of raw for me. It's kind of raw. I think they're scapegoating here. I don't think they want to look internally and say, hey, we screwed up the tokenomics. You want to see what low float this is? The market cap is $6 million. The fully diluted valuation is still $182 million. That is a massive valuation for no product when altcoins across the ecosystem are sputtering. This is a bigger FDV than Kujira. And I keep mentioning Kujira just because I'm familiar with their numbers, because I've been watching it closely. I have a small position in Kuji. But yeah, this is a huge valuation. And you know what? I would like to see what happens if this drops another 50%, which it can. There's a lot of downside risk to all these tokens that have emissions and have these vesting schedules and these farming opportunities. And I don't know if they do, but a lot of them do. If this drops another 50%, it might still be overvalued. Who are they going to blame then? I don't know. This will be interesting. We started talking about how Osmo and Atom are correlated to a lot of tokens are correlated to Atom and Osmo, and I definitely believe that. But this token's traded on centralized exchanges. should be a little more stable than Shade, even though it's new. I mean, we're basically watching price discovery. You don't like price discovery? I wouldn't like it either. Your token was 10 times higher. It was $1.8 billion valuation. Now it's 182 million. No signs of slowing down this drop, right? And not picking on Andromeda, we talked about low float, high FDV tokens. This seems to be what they're going to do if they can't create demand. And if you're issuing a token, you absolutely, positively have to create demand for your token. Otherwise, what is the point? What is the freaking point? That's all I wanted to say. And yeah, Cosmos DeFi here. If you like my stream, follow me. I'm on Twitter. A lot of people are watching on Twitter. I don't know why you would do that, but you are. And yeah, join me on my streams. Follow my YouTube channel. Subscribe. 1 or 2 streams a week. We talk about all kinds of fun things like tokens, like crypto, like Roaring Kitty, and like the market.